guys, thank you so much for joining me once again for On the Couch with Fouch. Now I know, and he's already made a comment, I know a lot of you've been watching for a while, and you've seen several times we haven't had a couch. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So this time, we have these very nice chairs that we're going to sit in and do this interview, and I have, of course, Michael Booth.
I'm not the only one that's not had a couch.
No, you're not the only one.
Okay, I don't feel so.
Feel better?
Slide it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, he was making a comment about it earlier, whatever.
Everybody
But-
else gets a couch.
But we got chairs, so we're actually sitting down. Have you ever watched On the Couch with
I
Fouch?
have.
You have?
I have.
Who have you seen?
I knew you were going to say that. I watched Jim Brady's.
Okay.
Because I was hoping they'd talk about us, and that was cool. Was it Devin McGlynn?
I did one with Devin. Yes.
Devin McGlynn. I've watched others.
Probably Ronnie.
Ronnie. Yeah, because I was in the back of.
That was in the bus.
In our bus,
Yeah.
right?
Well, good. I'm glad you've watched. You probably haven't watched them all the way through because I know how you're all ADD. You probably didn't get it all.
Most of it. I watched.
Okay, good. Well, then he doesn't know what's coming at the end, so this is going to be good.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be perfect. So thanks for joining me. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
I've been hanging on to restroom. I've been hanging on to this interview with you till like the perfect time.
Oh man.
And I'm excited about finally getting to do the interview with you.
Now I'm nervous.
Do you know why though?
No.
Because everyone has a question that they want to ask Michael Booth.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I have got some wonderful, wonderful questions. And it's going to be perfect. And the nice thing about it is that, I don't know if you can see those or not, that's the questions. You guys have now seen the questions. He has not seen them yet. So this is going to be perfect. So let's get right into it, brother. Terry Hunt would like to know, what is your favorite Bible verse?
They honestly change from time to time. Currently, it would be James 4:10, which is humble yourself in the sight of the Lord and he will lift you up. I think it encapsulates what the gospel is. Our job is to humble ourselves before Christ. He redeems us and lifts us up. It's also applicable in everyday life.
Right.
So it's a powerful little verse there.
And like you said, it changes maybe in like seasons of your life that you're in or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sandra Hammer, her question is, what age did you get saved?
Okay, you would think it would
Here we
be a
go.
very simple answer. I professed Christ as a 7-year-old boy at Brandon Heights Baptist Church down in Brandon, Florida. As many people, when you grow in your walk with Christ, you learn more. And I think I learned more of what Jesus did for me. And then as a teenager at 17, I think I really began to grasp, wow, this is what he's done for me. And so, in a sense, I went forward and then I was baptized. Was I saved as a 7-year-old? Probably. That's a big bug. I hope I'm eternally saved. I know I am, but I'm just scared now.
You guys probably didn't see it.
There's a big old bug right there. Yeah, I was scared. There it goes. Bye bye. Okay.
So back.
7 years old,
Yeah.
but I really got it, for lack
Okay.
of a better word, when I was about 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And I think a lot of people
Yeah.
go through that type of a thing.
Childlike faith is what I had.
Yeah.
They said, "Hey, do you want to trust Jesus as your Savior?" I said, "Sure." I mean, I believed He was the Son of God who came to pay for my sins.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Very cool.
Good question.
Adam Knight has a wonderful question.
Distinguished name, Adam.
Adam Knight. He would like to know, how has your Bible study affected your ministry and singing?
Okay.
I love that question.
That's a great question. Years ago, a preacher we'd sang with many times told me that my ministry would only be as effective as the overflow from my own personal walk, relationship with Christ. Okay, so we get into this thing, and I read my Bible from time to time, and I got natural ability to speak on stage and to communicate with people. But I have a cousin, Daryl Toney, who rode with us one weekend, and a loving rebuke. Now he laughs. He said it wasn't a rebuke. I'm like, well, it may not. You may not have intended it,
Right.
but that's the way I took it. And
Right.
and loving and rebuke go together.
Right.
No problem with that. But he said, you're shooting from the hip. You need to learn some scripture and support what you're saying and have something to say. What it did, it called me out that I really wasn't studying. It was kind of fluff. And so I got in the Word, began to really study, and it's amazing, when you get in the Word and study, it will come out.
Right.
And so it elevated, I believe, the effectiveness of the ministry of the Booth Brothers.
Right.
When
That's
I really
awesome.
began to pursue the Word,
Now,
dig in.
is that also when you started offering the free stuff?
Yeah.
Part of the concert?
I did that because maybe it was an abrupt change for people coming to see us, and all of a sudden Michael's doing this long gospel presentation, and we started getting a lot of letters, and it confused me. It startled me that people would say they were angry with me. I'll use that word, it's a strong word, but I believe they were angry that I was spending time at a gospel concert presenting the gospel. Now I understand that they paid to hear the singing, but we were still doing 22 to 24, sometimes 26 songs in a program by ourselves. And I was presenting the gospel, so I took no music away, I just added that to it. So to kind of help with that, I said, look, I know people paid to hear singing, but this part's free. And then it turned into kind of a funny thing. But I got to be honest, it has really diminished the letters.
Really?
I think it's part I addressed the elephant in the room, and part people have gotten used to it over time.
Now, how long do you think that you've been doing that now?
That's got to be going on 5 years. I'm really not sure, but I'm guessing 5 years.
And the fact of the matter is, and I know you would agree with me on this, and for you guys out there that are gospel music fans, if we go out and do a concert and don't tell people, or not necessarily do an altar call, but just tell them, say, hey, we're singing these songs about the man who has changed our lives, and he can change your life. I mean, it's fun, but if we don't tell you that Jesus can change your life at the end of the night or at some point during the program, then what's, to me, it's just, what's the point, kind of, to me? It really is. So I love that you do that.
I appreciate it. Well, here's the thing, and this will ruffle some feathers here, but so,
That's okay.
Send the letters to Matt. God did not sanction gospel music.
Right.
The methods he chose was the word, the preaching of the word, the teaching of the word. Those are the methods he chose to bless. Those are the things he really blesses when you present the gospel. Is the gospel in our songs? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. But the speaking of the gospel is a special thing that God ordained and chose to use. So what's wrong with taking a few minutes? Now, it took me some time to get it in a good, and I knew that going in. I knew that when I started this, I was going to be terrible at it. I knew it was going to take too long, but it just takes time to learn how to do something.
Right. Yeah. Well, I love it that you guys do it, and I hope that you do it for the rest of your career, however long that may be.
That's the plan.
Elaine Harcourt would like to know.
I know Elaine.
Who are your musical heroes?
Oh,
the short list.
Oh, yeah. Well, certainly my dad. I grew up listening to my dad and my Uncle Charles in the Rebels Quartet. That foundationally, that's it. And then there was Ronnie Tutt, the drummer for Elvis. A lot of intensity that we have as my musical intensity came from Ronnie Tutt's playing. So somehow I've translated the drums into singing.
Nice.
But then for many years, our family, people don't know our family story. Dad was out of gospel music, out of the church for quite a while in our formative teen years. So we were influenced by Restless Heart, Eagles, Gatlin Brothers, Oak Ridge Boys, Journey, a lot of secular groups.
Wow.
But then, anyway, God did a great work back in gospel music, and we took those influences and put them in there.
They didn't know who you are.
So that's why you hear such a schizophrenic Danny Murray. Hey, Danny, they're interviewing me. What do you think? Do I look?
You look so intelligent.
Thank you.
You look brilliant.
Danny,
Those glasses.
I know.
That the Walmart ones you tell me about? Man, they look.
I got a hug.
Prescription.
Hey, buddy. I've been witnessing to this man for a long time.
That's right, and I'm getting close. I'm getting so close.
Again.
Tonight, when you sing, I'm at the master.
Tell them who you're with.
The Voices of Lee
Right,
from
Danny
Lee
Murray,
University.
of course.
Danny
Give
Murray.
yourself a little plug there.
All right, yeah. Hey, we don't have a band. We're not like these guys. We're not famous, but we sing a cappella. We sing from our heart, and we love these guys
They're
so much.
incredible.
The Boots I'm telling you, they're wonderful.
Hey, the idea we got for our arrangement of "Then I Met the Master" came from the Voices of Lee, because if you notice on the track, it starts with a choral arrangement, oohs and ahs, and then
And we were supposed to have sung it, but they,
yes,
you know.
we couldn't afford them.
If you've watched many episodes at all, then you know that you do not ever know what is going to happen when you are watching an On the Couch with Fouch episode.
Case in point.
So that's just perfect. That's the way it is. I hope you guys enjoyed that. They are really good, actually. I enjoy listening to their
All
their
kidding
group.
aside, they're phenomenal.
Robin Bennett made a post, and it was a little bit longer, but the idea of it was the zipper story. I have no idea
You weren't there?
about the zipper story, and if I was there, I don't remember
It
it.
might have been before you.
So, I'm all ears.
Well, we're on one of these cruises we do, and it was Scott Fowler was hosting for this particular segment. We come out singing "Sail On," opening the thing up, and I had the life vest on, and my zipper was down. And so I sing the whole song, and nobody offers to help. The audience is just come to find out, though, this is the worst part. Is Fowler knew before I went out on stage, and he just chose not to tell me because he Fowler. He's a
Okay.
dinky little
so,
fella.
Okay,
And-
before you say something,
Yeah.
okay. Tell them, or if you have you ever pulled a prank on him to get back at him that you would like to share?
Well, this was before this happened, and this I don't know why I did this. Don't write me a letter. Devil got in me. We were in Flint, Michigan together, and Fowler's the one that showed me you can bring a Bible out on stage and read it. Really.
Right.
So I knew he was going to use his Bible, and I saw it sitting up on the stage. We had done sound check, and everybody left. I don't know why. I just got some Scotch tape, because what I do is hold the mic in one hand and flip that Bible open. He was really good at it. Just boom, right there. So I took the leather binding, opened it up, and then taped it 3 times across,
Nice.
so he couldn't see it. And I knew what was going to happen as an MC. When something happens very quick, you're talking, let people know there's no prayer. They don't even let them know there's an issue. And then you have to decide, navigate the thoughts in your mind. What am I going to do? Am I going to address this, or am I going to try to move past it? And so it was like slow motion. I was seeing him go through this. And he was saying, let me tell you something, folks. And that was the moment he was trying to figure out, what am I going to do? He said, I want to tell you that Michael Booth just taped my Bible shut. So he gave in.
He knew.
He knew.
Who it was.
It was pretty.
That's a good one.
pretty obvious.
That's good.
But it was. If it wasn't the Word of God, I could have been very proud of that.
Do you think I could get away with doing that to him now?
I think you should at least try.
Attempt it. You never know.
You have job security. You're all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Chapman would like to know your favorite song you wish you could have recorded. This is going to have to be a quick one.
Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. I tell you what it was, but I did. Now, this might be interesting. I brought He Heals, that Legacy 5 recorded, to Scott. I said, you
Okay.
need to cut this song. And you guys
beautiful
cut it.
song.
And I called him a year later. I said, I really want to cut that song. Can I cut it? And so we just cut it on it.
Really?
Yeah, a totally different arrangement. So in a sense, that was when I heard it, I really wanted to record it. But at the time, you guys were looking for material. So I, in my unselfish brotherhood, kingdom-minded,
Loaned it
thoughtfulness,
to us.
basically loaned
so
it.
you guys could cut it after us.
Killed some time till I
Let
cut
us,
it.
yeah, there you go.
So,
Yeah, that's a beautiful song if you guys haven't heard it.
Love
He
that song.
Heals is on our Great Day album. Tom Poe would like to know, and you know what, really we haven't had a lot of funny questions.
No, it's interesting.
Which has been, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a side of you that maybe some people don't get to see a lot.
I think it's funny, people are surprised when they travel with us or go out to eat afterwards that I'm not really bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
I couldn't live like that 24/7. I just blow up.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So Tom Poe would like to know, has there ever been a time where you thought about walking away from your musical career? And if there has been, there may not have, but if there has been, what changed your mind? And this, and this is a very personal question. I don't know that you've ever experienced anything like that.
I have an answer, but it may be shockingly candid.
I
have thought
can
about
handle it.
walking away many times, countless times, for countless reasons, and in the spirit of being candid with you, many times it was, you understand we're gospel singers, but you understand we're providers for our family. And this is how I provide for my family. And it's a slow moving ship. It's not something you can just say, I'm not going back. I quit this week. You can't do that. And thank God, because here's what happens, people. We all get emotional, right? And we get down, we get physically tired. Mr. Bishop of the Bishops, Kenneth Bishop, told us years ago, we were still in a van and trailer. He said, be careful, don't get physically tired, because when you're physically tired, you get emotionally tired, then you get spiritually tired, then you're in danger.
Yeah.
And when I've gotten physically tired, I got emotionally tired, spiritually tired, I was in danger. Those are the times I wanted to quit. So I'm not thinking right?
Right.
And those are the times, thank God, I couldn't quit.
Right.
I wish I could give you a more spiritual, I'm marching on for Christ. I'd love to tell you that I'm that spiritual, but no, I just wasn't able to.
And I honestly, I love the candidness of your answer, because I really do think this, that if everyone was honest that's out here, they've had at least one moment where they've gotten home from a trip and been like, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had that moment.
Yeah.
And I think everyone would say that they had it if they're honest.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the honesty, because that's, in reality, that answer I think everyone would give in one way or another.
Now, I will say this too. We are making plans somewhere down the road where maybe we adjust our schedule. We're not gone as much, and as soon as we're able to do that, you know what, folks? I love singing to you. I would love to be around my wife and kids more, and if and when the time allows, God provides that. We'll do that too. I just don't know when that's going to happen. But I love singing. I don't want to quit singing.
Right, and I don't either.
Yeah.
I love singing too.
I just like being home a little more.
I love being home as well. So there is information in this interview that you probably have never got from another interview anywhere in gospel music.
It's out there now, isn't it?
I love it. I love it. And I don't know how long this interview has gone, but when I interviewed Ernie Haas, one of the questions I asked him was, do you ever think about hanging it up? And this isn't a to get at you for being old question or anything like that, but that was one of the questions that do you ever think about that?
Yeah.
And so I want to pose the same, since you're being candid. Do you think about that? I mean, I think you probably have already answered the question. It's like, there's going to come a time, and it's probably not too far off, where you're going to cut back, you're going to slow down, and maybe even retire at some point.
Yes, and in full candor, I will say we're planning on that.
Yeah.
We're making plans. When, I don't know. It's just, but for example, too, I'm trying to make sure that I'm singing songs now in a range that I can sing them when I'm 60. Too. So I'm planning on singing a long time, but I'm also planning on finding a way, Lord willing, to be able to not have to sing so much.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's awesome.
So there's.
Ernie had the same type of an answer.
Yeah, Ernie and I have talked about this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're very like-minded in this aspect. My life is not. My life is not defined. I'm not a gospel singer. I'm a born-again child of God who married Vicki Booth. A little bubble, and I'm Christian's dad, Jonathan and Austin, and I provide for them by singing gospel music. And whether we eat, whether we drink, whatever we do unto the glory of God. So God is able to use gospel music as a ministry. And also I'm allowed to provide for my family by doing it. But I'll always be a minister.
Yeah.
Because that's what we all do. You're going to be a singer whether you're singing with Legacy 5 or not.
Right.
You go home, you work for U.S. Postal Service, you're still going to sing when opportunity presents itself.
Right. And I will share this with you guys. It's like, honestly, singing in gospel music was never what I planned to do.
Really?
When I started in 2004, I was still in college, and I planned to sing with Sold Out until I graduated and then go into the corporate world with my business degree.
Wow.
That's what I planned to do.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And so I started with Sold Out. I finished in 2004. I finished my degree in December of 2005. I graduated, and I was like, I was single. I was like, well, I can keep doing this. And then I got married, and I was like, I'm making enough I can provide for my family, so I'll keep doing it. I don't feel like God's pulling me out of it yet, and I'm making enough money, you know, so I was like, well, I'll keep doing it. And now here I am, 11 years into it, and this is all I've done for a career while I was in college and since I've graduated. So, you know, that same type of thing is just like, well, I'd never intended to be a gospel singer, but I'm thankful that God has blessed me with the opportunity to be able to do it.
Go through the open doors.
And however long He has me here, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be singing, and I love doing it, and I'll do it until I feel like He says, I need you to go do something else. So
That's peaceful, isn't it?
it is. I love it. So this has been awesome.
Awesome,
I appreciate it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as I have. But now this is time for my most favorite part.
Oh, man.
The time for the Fouch Zone.
What did you call it?
You have a certain, the Fouch Zone.
The Fouch Zone.
You have a certain unspecified amount of time to answer the questions. If
Oh,
you don't get the
no.
answer in that right
You know,
amount of time, we go to
I'm-
the next question.
I didn't
Here we
take enough
go.
Adderall for this.
How many satellites have been destroyed by meteors?
All of them.
Time. How long does it take for a sloth to digest its food?
All day.
Which animal is the smartest on the planet? Time. How many newborns will be given to the wrong parents per day? Time. And in 1996, Webster's dictionary had how many misspelled words?
Dude, I can't spell cat, man.
Good thing you're not Webster.
I know. On my spell check on my phone,
He doesn't even have an answer.
most of the time it comes up
No.
nothing even close. Like, hey, stupid, put the
No
phone down.
recommendation.
No recommendation. That's what it's. I can't even say that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you even remember the question? Here we go.
No.
I'm going to give you a chance to actually
Squirrel.
answer now.
Okay.
How many satellites have been destroyed by meteors? You said all of them.
Well, eventually.
I want to say that's probably not correct.
Maybe that's exaggerating.
Would you like to answer?
I have no idea.
One.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought there'd been more than one.
I would have too, but according to the internet. All right,
I
the
believe
next,
it. It's on the internet.
the next one. How long does it take for a sloth to digest its food?
2 weeks.
You actually said all day, but then you looked at my notes, and now you've answered 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the correct answer, not
Yeah.
all day, but 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that is.
Which animal is the smartest on the planet? I didn't even give you time to answer. So, would you like to guess?
Is it a dolphin?
Yeah, porpoise.
Really?
Yep.
I looked, but the only thing I could make out was popsicle, so I knew that was.
Does that look like popsicle
Well,
to you?
yeah, I couldn't see
that
it. It
look
was
like
at an
popsicle?
angle. Come on.
I don't know. My handwriting isn't the best,
Yeah.
but I mean, come on.
Popsicle to me.
Anyways, all right. How many newborns will be given to the wrong parents per day?
2.
That's incorrect. Good try though at cheating.
thought
Wrong side. I flipped it on you. The number is 12.
A
Approximately
day?
12 newborns a day will be given to the wrong parents.
That's staggering, man.
And in 1996, Webster's dictionary had how many misspelled words? And you said, I can't spell cat. So,
I'm impressed you remembered my answers. I mean, because
do you have a guess?
what was the question?
The actual answer is 315. 315 words in the Webster's dictionary in 1996
never-
were misspelled.
That's,
Can you believe that?
no, because I would have never known if I read all of them. I would have just went, okay.
Good question.
Hey, Paul. Sorry.
Thank you so much, man. I
It's
appreciate
been
it.
good. I finally got to do the
I know.
Couch Fouch thing. Whatever.
Zone.
Zone.
Ooh,
Now I'm busy.
I'm scared. Tell them where they can find all the information they want to know about the Booth Brothers.
Boothbrothers.com. If you go there, you know more of my schedule than I know currently about. People ask all that, where are you going? I don't know.
And they're on Facebook, and I'm sure Twitter, and you guys can catch up with them there. Thank you so much for watching On the Couch with Fouch. Like I said earlier, you never know what's going to happen when you watch an interview of On the Couch with Fouch.
That's true.
Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on social media.
Is it gonna be something
Appreciate
right
it.
here, or-
Actually, it's probably somewhere like there somewhere. So subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Booth here here at Booth Brothers, sitting on Matt's fat couch. No, Matt Fouch's couch. Matt's fat. Matt is a fat, I don't know, whatever they call it. Apparently supposed to tell you that we have some new stuff coming up. We've been in the studio recording 2 brand new albums. One is completed, it's being printed now, so that'll come out soon. The next one is a mainline album, which is going to be a couple months still?
Yes.
Yeah, and can't give all the details, but we're going to be shooting a video this summer, which will come out in the fall. So a lot of great things coming. And the website, yes, right here. Are you going to put that down there? Boothbrothers.com.
That's not high tech.
Or is it Booth Brothers? I don't know.
You're on the couch with Matthew Fouch. Yeah, you're in the Fouch Zone.
Hey there, thank you for joining us on the Couch with Fouch, and today I am with Ronnie Booth of the Booth Brothers, and we are in Clayton, Ohio. It is right outside of Dayton, and we're here for a Jubilee concert tonight. And for those of you who do not know, Jubilee concert consists of Legacy 5, the Booth Brothers, and Greater Vision all together in concert, and we have a great time. Tonight, we are in the back lounge of the Booth Brothers bus, so thank you, Ronnie, for letting us use your back lounge for this video.
Oh, glad to have you, man.
We're looking forward to some great questions here. There's been some great questions from the folks on social media. They want to know a whole lot about you. But first off, before I get to the social media questions, why don't you give everybody just kind of your story, you know, how you got into music. And I'm sure a lot of people know, but for those who don't know, give them your story, how you got into music, and then go right into telling everybody about your family.
Okay, sure. Well, my father, Ron Sr., sang gospel music, started with the original Booth Brothers in the 50s. He and my Uncle Charles, my Uncle Jim, and my Uncle Wallace had a quartet. And Uncle Jim went in the Army, and it wasn't long after that Dad was invited to sing tenor for the Tony Brothers. So Dad joined the Tonys in the early 60s, sang with them through 67, and got a call from John Matthews of the Rebels Quartet from Tampa, Florida. So Dad took that job. Dad was 23 years old, Mom was 25, and I was 2. And so anyhow, he moved the family down there, and he sang with the Rebels for 7 years, went with the Thrasher Brothers, then in 76 went with J.D. and the Stamps, backing up Elvis, the year before Elvis died, for a short period of time. And that's where the musical background begins. First of all, with my dad and with my Uncle Charles and the Rebels and Tonys. When he went with Elvis, we still have the actual records that the Stamps sent Dad to learn some of these songs on, and I played those things. I mean, you know, because I had heard of Elvis Presley and I knew that he was this big star, but I really enjoyed it. And Michael really fell in love with Ronnie Tutt, Elvis's drummer, and so we listened to that pretty extensively for a couple of years, and that really made an impact on us. And down in Tampa Bay area, there wasn't a lot of gospel music now, especially when you went into the 80s. I mean, it was around there some, but we weren't exposed to it because Dad came off the road in 77. So we were listening to, you know, Tampa is, there's so many different styles that are played: blues, jazz, you know, pop, and all country music. And we just started listening to all of that, you know, and really that's what the Booth Brothers are. It is an amalgamation, I guess is the word I'm trying to come up with, of all these different musical ideas. And only we're singing using those ideas and promoting our faith, which is in the Lord Jesus. Right. And that's kind of the background.
That's awesome.
Some huge influences on me were, of course, my dad and my uncle, and Jim Hamill. He was Uncle Jim, you know, to me. The Couriers were big, the Stamps, the Thrasher Brothers, all those guys. In the secondary market was a guy named Gary Morris, who was the original cut of "You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings." It came out in '82. Larry Gatlin, huge fan of Larry Gatlin. And a guy named Steve Warner, another country artist. I just loved and Dwayne Allen, the lead singer of the Oak Ridge Boys. Those 4 voices they were so. They just had so much music in their voices, And then there was others in the pop music that really influenced me. And again, all the things that used to move me from each one of those singers, I just tried to adapt and make it my own.
Right.
And it's really been very beneficial for the Booth Brothers, because in a way it's given us our own thing, because we can't sing high. It's just, God didn't make us for that, so we had to find another way.
You guys are your own, in a way. A lot of the stuff you guys do, you guys are just kind of like your own, I guess, own style of gospel music. Really,
in a way.
Nobody can really put you in any certain style. I mean, you guys do a little bit of everything, and that's nice to have a broad base of different.
It
different
is.
ways you guys do.
It is, and I attribute that again to where we grew up. We love good music, and as long as it's wholesome, then I enjoy it. I'm not going to listen to something that is not Christ exalting.
Right.
But anyhow, that's the background.
Cool. Now tell everybody about your family, your kids, and your wife, and just let everybody know
My
about
wife, my wife's name is Kim, and she's my soulmate.
Cool.
Absolutely my soulmate. We have 4 children. We have my stepdaughter Amy is married to Michael John, and they have Harper, and Harper is my granddaughter, and she is 19 months at the time we're filming this. Jonathan, my stepson, and his wife Emily, they're married, and they no kids yet. Ronnie Lee, my oldest son, is married to Lydia, and no kids yet. He's in the real estate in Nashville and just doing great. And then Daniel's my youngest, and Daniel is getting ready to go to school to become a fireman. Cool. And he is Daniel's 20 years old. He's our baby. So the house is empty, and it's so quiet, and we're still trying to get used to that.
Right.
When I've been singing for so many years now, and I'd come home and the kids were so young, and then I'd go out and play baseball with them and whatnot, and they don't want to play baseball with Dad now.
Got a lot more things on their plate.
A lot more things on the plate, so it's just Kim and I.
Now, speaking of empty house, I know that your wife does some different things. If you want to tell everybody about I've seen some cards and some photos online, so tell everybody a little bit about what she does.
Well, about 3 years ago, she's always wanted to get into photography. She's always appreciated and had a passion for photography. So I said, well, you know what? I said, we're going to set you up. And I got her the equipment and all the things that she needed. And I'm telling you, she has a beautiful eye, especially for nature. She loves, I take her over to Cades Cove, over in around Pigeon Forge, that area. And then just other outside shots that she has taken. And we've taken some of those pictures, and not only have we framed them, but we've also made note cards out of them.
Oh, nice.
And the people are really taken to those things, and they're blank inside, so you can write whatever message you want. And there are various kinds. There's of nature, and it's been pretty neat. Her kimbooth.com is her website.
KimBooth.com. That's where you can get those.
And that's her. It's her ministry, and she will take Bible verses or well crafted quotes or whatnot and apply it to the picture that she has. And you know what? It really does minister.
Right.
It really. There's something about you can be so stressed out, and you see a picture of nature and the calmness of it and the order and everything, and it just reminds you, no, the Lord is in control.
Yeah.
Whether you feel it or you don't, He is.
Well, when God created it, He said it's good.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you just have to look. A lot of people just look around at creation, and you can just see the goodness of God and how awesome He is.
Very much.
So
Very much.
That's pretty cool. So check those out. Go to her website, give them a look. If you like them, go ahead and purchase a few and maybe brighten somebody's day. So let's get to the social media questions.
Oh, okay.
The first one I want to get to is, it's not even a question that I'm going to ask you per se, because there were multiple questions on this subject. So I'm just going to throw the subject out there to begin with.
Okay.
The obvious one that several people asked about was you dealing with your brother Michael. So just you know,
What's it
tell
like?
everybody, expound on that subject of getting along, dealing with, growing up with Michael. Just real kind of short, short form. I know,
Sure.
I'm sure there's tons, but just kind of short
Oh
form.
yeah, there's some good
about
stories.
that.
Well, I'm 6 years older than Michael. I was born in '65. He was born in '61 or '71, excuse me. And Michael, growing up, actually was very pudgy. He was, he's as thin as can be now, but growing up, I nicknamed him Porky.
Really? I didn't
And
know
I
that.
wasn't trying to, and I wasn't being mean. I thought it was a neat little nickname,
Yeah.
and I never meant anything by it. And so as he grew up, I'm 6 years older, and I was on the wrestling team in high school. In a headlock and just roll him over and pin him, or the
Hey.
leg shoot or whatever. He said he learned how to sing tenor by screaming, "Mom!"
That's
I was
awesome.
I've never hurtful him, but I'll tell you what. All jokes aside, Michael, there's a very serious side to Michael, and when we're on the bus, we'll joke around, we'll have fun like everybody, but he's not bouncing off the walls like people
Right.
think. No, Michael uses the humor. He's in control of the humor, if
Yeah.
you will, and humor is a wonderful thing. It came from the Lord, and you know what? Some people haven't laughed in a long time,
Right.
and so anyhow, it's a great thing to have.
Cool. Well, I know everybody enjoys his personality, on stage, enjoys talking to him off stage, as well as talking to you, and so it's really neat, just the brotherhood, and everything
Oh,
that
yeah.
you guys have. So that's just a really neat factor that a lot of groups don't get. A lot of groups don't have that family connection,
Right.
especially with brothers. Sometimes there's even a tighter bond
Oh yeah.
between brothers than just maybe a brother and a sister. Or something. So that's
Absolutely.
cool to have that. So that's really neat. The next section, I want to go to some musical questions that people had.
Okay.
So my first question here is from Eric Eldridge, and he would like to know. These are kind of just shorter, right to the point.
Okay.
Like say, kind of short answers.
Okay.
How old were you when you learned to sing harmony?
Oh, to sing harmony. I was, I'm going to say around 9 or 10. I think is when I really started discovering harmony. I had been singing since I was a toddler, and just along with Dad's records. But
Right.
when I was 5, the Rebels had their own television show, and I sang the night before Easter's with the Rebels Quartet back in the day. And that thing it was my dad's arrangement. It had 4 key changes in it, and
Wow.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just because I listened so much to my dad's records. But harmony, probably 9 or 10.
That's pretty
When
cool.
I started
Pretty young
understanding
too.
Yeah,
Seems like.
Well, music was my world.
Right.
And it still is.
So Rob Bronk, thank you for your question. He would like to know, what is your best vocal tip?
If it's hurting, it's wrong.
That's a good one.
Don't push.
Shane Gray would like to know, who is your musical hero?
Oh gosh. First and foremost, my father, and equally my uncle, Charles Booth.
Cool.
Great singers.
Marcus Bradley, he wants to know, this one's kind of a funny one. He wants to know how you put the ooh in smooth.
Well, I tell you what, there is don't push, just don't push, and it's almost a whoo, like you're blowing. Whoo. It's hard to explain. Just don't push,
Relax.
and you know what? The more relaxed,
Yeah.
the better you are.
And that's for bass singing too. It's just a lot of
Oh,
times guys will
absolutely.
tell you, if you're having if there's a note that you can normally hit, but for some reason you're having problems with it, just try your best to relax
There you go.
and just kind of let it flow.
Absolutely.
It'll come a little bit easier. So
It will. It absolutely will.
next section is some Booth Brothers, just general questions.
Okay.
So Tom Poe would like to know, when will you do another Gaither CD? Or will you?
I don't know. We had an idea of a songwriter series that we wanted to start, and we started with Bill. In 24 years of singing, we had recorded one Bill Gaither song. I
Wow.
don't know why. We never planned it that way. So we thought, well, let's start with Bill and Gloria. And, we did the 1 volume. Well, there's enough to do 2 or 3 more volumes, of them. And
Right.
then you've got Mosey Lister, then you got Squire, then you
Right.
got... So there's a plethora of music out there, that we're considering doing. And we may in the future.
Maybe in the future. Never
Maybe,
know.
maybe.
Ruth Hybert would like to know, when are you going to hire a bass singer?
Well, a lot of people don't know. When we started out, we were a quartet.
I don't think I knew that either.
A guy named Tim Sievert, who played piano for the Rebels back in the early 70s, actually a dear friend of the family's. Tim played piano and sang bass for us when we started out. In
Cool.
fact, I've got video footage
Nice.
of the first time we sang together.
You need to share that.
I know it. I know.
That
One
would
of
be
these
cool.
days we're going to. That we sang 8 songs in our home church.
That's neat.
And you know what? It wasn't bad. I mean, it really wasn't.
So maybe
we
a
were
bass
encouraged.
singer's in your future again.
Well, you never know. It's another paycheck, man.
Right, that's true. That's true. Let's see. Nathan Mack would like to know, how is it decided which person sings which solo?
Honestly,
Does that just come down to the producing or producer?
yeah, and pretty much that's Michael and I and Jim. We'll just talk about the lyric or whatever, and whichever voice, you know, that is the one thing I can honestly say. There is no competition between the three of us guys. I mean, whoever is going to be able to deliver that message most effectively, that's who does it. You know, and we truly, and Jim, and we sing a lot of Jim's songs that he has written. But it's like Jim says, man, I don't, just because I wrote it doesn't mean I have to sing it all. So really, whoever communicates it, it's that simple, you know.
Julie Sinning has asked the next question, and she would like to know, what is your favorite thing to do on a day off?
Honestly, I love to read, and try to clear my mind and get out in nature. I love working outside when I'm home. My wife and I have a few acres, and I love getting out and getting dirty and sweating and working around the yard. Believe it or not,
Cool.
doesn't bother me a bit.
Well, you know what, Ronnie? Now is time for the Fouch Zone. I don't know if you've ever seen the Fouch Zone before. These questions
You
are
all
just
right?
quick hitters, man. And actually, thank you to Joseph Baldwin, the merchandise specialist for the Booth Brothers, for submitting these questions. So thank you, Joseph. Here we are.
He's
You
one
ready?
for praise, isn't he?
When did Christopher Columbus realize he was in for a long trip? Time.
A long time ago.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Time.
Still looking.
If the Booth Brothers was made into a musical, who'd play you?
Oh gosh.
Time. What is track number 2 on the Eagles album Hotel California?
Oh, Life in the Fast Lane.
Wow.
Thank
And
you.
if you could play a TV character, who would it be?
Honestly, Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that would be cool.
I would.
Thank you so much for joining me today, man.
Bless you, man.
Thank you guys for joining us. It was so much fun.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll look to see you guys out there. Give everybody your guys' website where they can get your music. And check you guys out.
www.boothbrothers.com. That's
Very
it.
cool. And join me at mattfouch.com to see the videos, podcasts, everything we got going on. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
You're on the couch with Matthew Fouch. Yeah, you're in the Fouch Zone.